So we are live on YouTube. I hope we have a nice conversation tonight. Again, my name is Leandro, and we are going to talk about responsibilities at work. First of all, I'd like to ask Jardel to answer the first question. What skills are most important for your job? And if you don't mind, to introduce yourself to everybody.
Okay, I can introduce yourself, no problem. Introduce myself. And I'm Jerdal. I'm 28 years old. I work as a data engineer in Brazil. And usually in my free time, I spend time with my wife. We go to the shopping center or walk the dog and spend time to see or to watch the movie, series, or something like that. And to answer the first question, I think to talk about my hard skill around to make solutions for the problems or make like algorithms. I think that is more important thing in my work or more important skill because in my work I work as a data engineer. I said that, and with with that rule usually we need to create flows to get data and input or ingest the data into the table. But that is a part of the work because the purpose with that pipelines, for example, is create flows, create or not someone ingest flows, but more complex flows with the interactions or table interactions or human flows interaction or something like that. And we need to make algorithms or to or not a specific algorithm, but create a flow or a consistent flow, and that are more important skills. And in second place, make SQL queries and PySpark queries are so important for my job.
Cool. So you use PySpark is something related with Python or just
Yes,
the
like Python, but is different. Uh, we use the PySpark and like uh like SQL queries. We can create the PySpark is a language and main language in the Spark, but we can get the SQL queries or write the SQL queries, SQL queries, and it found equally and equally the PySpark. But with the PySpark, we get more linear flow to make queries. Is different than SQL queries. In the SQL queries, we can't create a linear flow in the queries. We can create a different flow. Because I'm learning more about the SQL queries now, and there is Power Spark is so easy than SQL queries for me, for example.
you know
Like
what is
Python.
cool. You know what? It's really interesting when we have to explain our job because even in our native language, we know what we have to do, we know what we do on a daily basis, but it's hard to explain. For example, for people that don't work with IT. It's hard to translate all the technologies, all the things that are involved in our daily routine, and then explain to someone else more difficult in English. So it's cool,
Yes.
cool. Actually, it was a nice point of view that you had shared with us. Thanks, Jardel.
Okay.
What about you, Joe Anderson?
Um, I think hard skills or first introduce myself. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
I'm I'm João, so I'm from Sergipe. I am 27 years old. At my free time, I like to play guitar. Uh, go to the beach, ride a bike. Sometimes I go to the beach by bicycle. with friends, and yeah, I like to do exercise, do the gym, work out, and whatever. Uh, Sometimes I read books when I have time. It's after it's my free time after I play guitar.
Do you
uh,
do you play electric guitar or acoustic?
uh, if it has shrimps, I play it.
Oh,
Corda.
oh, cool. You're a true musician, so
Uh, it's because it's the same thing. But I'm not so good. I know how it works. Uh, but about the question number one, I think about job. In my experience, I think in the beginner, hard skills are the most important. But when we have a high level, I think skills like communication it's most important or equivalent to hard skills. For example, who works as a developer, something like this. Hard skills is colder. It's do something like both you are saying previously. I think hands on, yeah, but when the level is high, I think it's different. It's needed to talking about the time to delivery, the things. It's good to have a good communicate. It's what it is one of the soft skills, but communication it's a lot important for some jobs in the for high levels of the people. I think it's something that everyone need to work on it. I think when we in all the time, all jobs, soft skills will stay there. It's not hard, something that we study at the college sometimes, but I think it's something that it's important and will stay beside uh, the hard skill all the time. In the how most high is the level, I think it's more important sometimes. I I think whatever the job, I think so. Sometimes can be more important or no, but to grow up, I think it's important to work soft skills a lot.
you know what? Now that you mentioned soft skills, I remember that I have met a number of really skilled people, but they didn't know how to communicate. They didn't know how to sell themselves. So maybe they are not, or they were not working on the best position they can because they were skilled. They were awesome, but they never knew how to transmit, how to share, how to communicate, or how to I don't know to how can I put this together? They never know how to sell themselves. I mean, it's impossible to the companies, to the business, to the managers to know someone knows how to do something if this person don't know how to communicate properly. So it's really interesting that point that you have shared with us. Cool, thanks. And well, Pedro, are you there? Cannot see you.
Yes, I have to turn off my camera because my internet is a little bit unstable. If my voice have some breaks, is the reason. That's the reason. I don't know if you are listening to me because like everyone is freezing now for me. But I will try. If it's just too much like breaky, I will just listen because that's the reason. But
Okay.
introduce myself a little bit. My name is Pedro. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Joatuba, Minas Gerais. And I graduated on design, but nowadays I'm working in the bank area. And for correlate highlighting these informations about what skills is important in my job. Nowadays, like I work with like a business assistant, so I have to get all the work like in the agents of bank. And nowadays, I believe like a proactive action is a best skills because like to offer some product for a client is very important to understand like what's the problems the client has and what is the best one from each person. So if you have the proactive way to get with that, it's a good skills and the resolve problems. I believe like working in a technology, like my graduation is design, so it's very relative about that, like resolve problems because you know every people has a different types of problems and we have to understand it and how to solve that.
Cool, and thanks for the effort. I would say that it was possible to understand everything that you told us. So now I was remembering this morning, in the beginning of my shift, I was working on a customer issue. I work as a customer support, and I worked for around 1 hour thinking of one problem, but all of a sudden I decided to review the customer issue, and I was using the wrong approach. I mean, I didn't understand the real problem. So it was a waste of time. I wasted almost 1 hour working, and I mean, following a line that was wrong. So it was hard. And then I restart, and from the beginning, I could approach to the problem in a proper way. So as all you guys mentioned, we need hard skills, but we need also soft skills, and we need to understand the process. As Pedro has mentioned, we need to understand, first of all, we need to understand properly the problem and then start working, start acting. So this is really important from my point of view. Cool. We have the second question, and I would like to ask Joe Anderson, do you mind to read and answer the second question to us?
No problem for me. Can you describe a time when you had to take on extra responsibilities? I think in my current job, I think I have done a lot of different things. I think so. Uh, for example, now I have one person that it's with work with me, but it's how I have a role, a different role, for example. So I need to look after her and see what he's doing, and it has changed s- for some months or year, in a short time. Uh, it's a little different, and they have have given me a good experience. I think so, and it's a responsibility because sometimes I need to teach new things to her or say that she's running uh and the explain tasks, explain things, and this I need to give my best for do a good job. Privileges I had the two girls, I think so. Otherwise, that was looked for, but today I have one. And the yeah, I think it was a responsibility that I had that it was good and the could give me a good experience. I think so.
So you were working as a advisor, I would say, like they are newcomers and you are trying to share with them the how things work, the process and stuff like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, I need to explain about the things that they need to know.
Okay, cool, cool, thanks. It's something like uh, I would say advisor or a facilitator. I don't know. I'm not sure if we have
It's
this
because it's
word.
people that it could be like advisor, but not like this, our advisor, but it's we can think like inter is in the one person that he works at company, but no, she's not inter. It's something that they have don't have the same role in the whatever. I have more knowledge than they just said it.
Cool. So we can consider it as an extra responsibility. Cool. Thanks. What about you, Pedro? Can you describe a time when you had to take an extra responsibilities?
Something like I feel embarrassed in Brazil is like when you are intern, you receive less, you work sometimes less too, but you have the same responsibilities. And most of the jobs, I believe that it will be interns that will learn about the things, but most of all that I had the opportunity is like you have the same responsibilities. So I remember, for example, when my first intern, and I had to understand about another things, and I said in the beginning like, "Oh, I am a junior, and well, I am an intern, so it's not even a junior. It's like I am starting now." And I had to do some things like even difficult for me, and sometimes have some impact for clients. But I believe like it's some way like to deal with clients and things like that. But I think it is a very important opportunity like to understand it, and you can commit some mistakes. Maybe these mistakes could be pressure for your career, but it's good for like to understand like how the market works, because like I remember when I understood the what the theory says for all us, like by the books and things like that. But in the real world, the things is totally different, and you have to make a jogo de cintura to understand what you have to do. And it's the best way to understand it is like to go away and work. I believe it's the even the best course you can took, the the practice is the most important, my opinion.
It's not the same. Real world is totally different. I agree with you. Cool, thanks. What about you, Jardel? I like it the way you say your name, Jardel. Can you
Yes,
repeat that?
you in
Ja-
Portuguese is Jardel, but in English is
yeah,
Jardel, no problem.
in Spanish is Jardel.
Yes, that's it.
Cool.
Different pronunciation. I like that. I like it. And to me, I don't believe exactly in extra responsibility because I think I can do different things in my job or make different things, but I can say about when I get a thing and I don't like that. Because for example, I can explain about the manual flows or manually or with if you need to use your hand to do something like a simple flow or manually flow and the data flows. I don't like that. And typically I make a plan to create automatic flow or automation because I don't like the manual flows. I really don't like that. And when I need to do this, usually I create a plan to in the future not make again with my hand, but create a automatic flow. And I don't know exactly about all the responsibilities because when you work in a company, or for example, in my company, I have my responsibilities and we have more specific areas in the company and we have specialized people. And I don't know exactly about extra responsibility, but I can do different things or extra responsibility. I don't know exactly what is extra responsibilities because I don't live or I don't get that scenario in my life.
So, as far as I understand, it's something like you are not supposed to do something. Like Joe Edison is not supposed to teach anyone, but he were trying to help. I don't know if it was for his own intention or if someone else has asked him to do that, but it's something like, okay, I am doing my job, I'm doing this, and that. But then you notice something that you can improve, that it's out of your scope and you can improve. Like you have mentioned, you hate to run manual tasks. So something like you notice some area on your company is working in a dumb way. I wouldn't say dumb, but in a not uh, so efficient way. And you have an idea. It's something like, okay, I have my stuff to do, but I will try to give a hand to them to give some help to them to automate this task. So I would I would say something like that. In my job, I have the situation whenever I notice something uh, that could be better in the documentation or in the process, and I can suggest, or we can have an initiative to get together and discuss about something. I mean, make a brainstorm about something or situations that we have faced with these and that customer, and then we can suggest to the managers an improvement. So I would say extra responsibilities on this in this way. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So but it's cool. Have you ever, you mentioned that you hate doing manual tasks. Have you ever had a sensation or the feeling when you are doing something and in the middle of the activity you start to think, oh, this is so repetitive. I would create anything better. I mean, a macro or shell script, whatever. But you feel that if you stop doing that, it's not worth like you are more than 50% done and then you continue until the end and you'll never need to do it again. It's hard because, okay, you are going to create an automation, but maybe you won't need to use it anymore. So
Yeah.
it's a strange feeling like, okay, I'm doing this, but it could be automated, but it's not worth to stop right now and create something.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Cool.
That's
So,
true.
yeah. Pedro, do you mind read and answer the third question? And this is special to Joanderson. This question is special to you, Joanderson. But Pedro, could you read and answer the third question to us?
Yes, of course. Have you ever had to train someone at work? How did it go? So in my case, I believe I don't have like a specific task in my career. I remember sometimes, for example, when I changed the area, when I was intern on graphic design and I changed to the UX area, I had to choose like my sector, like something like that, because the the person had the process on the role for the whole, and they had to choose like two profiles, like who people is assume this area. And after that, I have to just show like how the train, how the roles works. But it was not a like a real train. It's just like to show like how I worked it and how he can improve that, because like I know each activity can be improved in my opinion. You sometimes we do something like more automatically way, but if someone from another point of view can see the task and show, so you did that like this way, but if you change something and etc. But it was not like a real train, but I believe like just to show like the rocks ways, some things like that.
Rock's ways were was strong. I like it. You said you mean Caminho das Pedras, right?
I tried to say that, but yeah, I don't know if English has a similar expression.
I think so, but I'm not aware of. But I like it. Thanks, Pedro. What about you, Jardel? Do you have the rocks way?
I I don't know, but I'm so sorry. I don't understand exactly the question. Can you explain for me?
I can try.
Okay,
So,
thanks for
okay,
that.
so have you ever had to train someone at work? It's something similar to what Johansson mentioned. Like you have a new colleague and you have to share the how to do something, or you have to teach how to do something, something like that, explain the process, share your knowledge, something like that. So have you ever had this situation at your job
Oh, okay, understand.
from training?
To train. Okay. I like that. I like touch people and I like touch about my job or other things. I have I had a big experience in the university. I created a project to learn to teach math and calculus for other colleagues with difficulties, and I learn a lot with that, and I create a mindset about that because we need to share the knowledge with other peoples, and I really enjoy that. I like that. And usually I create I create a flow or a simple flow to explain about the rules or about the business. And I think introduce the people or introduce the people in some things or more easy tasks first of all, and with the time introduce more difficult tasks or uh, more more challenge tasks. I think that is a good way to train to train uh to train a people to get different things or to learn about different things. How do you think that is a answer for that question? I
Yes,
think
it is.
that is
It,
my
it,
method.
it is actually. There's a saying. I wouldn't say there's a saying, but there's a classification how we learn things like reading, listening. We learn like 5%, 10%. When we do something, when we put our hands on, we learn like 70%. But when we teach or when we share something that we have just studied, we learn like 95% or we retain 95% of the content. So you mentioned that
Yes.
in college you had experience where you have to guide someone or to work on some weaknesses like math or stuff like that. So I believe this applies to the question, like you have to train someone else. even our parents, I don't know, when we have to train, when they switch their phones, when they buy a new smartphone is a nightmare, but we have to train someone. We have to, first of all, learn how new things work and then train someone else or share this knowledge with someone else. So I believe you answered the best way you could. And I understood, at least I understood your point. And Pedro,
Okay,
I
thanks so
was
much.
no problem. Pedro, I was looking for, I literally asked it to ChatGPT. Is there a similar expression in English to the Brazilian vou te mostrar o caminho das pedras? And there is an expression. It is, I will show you the ropes. It's something like, since you're, let me share with you guys the explanation. I will share the prompt and then the explanation. I use ChatGPT a lot. So I literally ask, is there a similar expression in English, blah, blah, blah? And I will show you the ropes. Something like show the ropes. For example, since it's your first day here, I will show you the ropes and help you get started. So yes, they have some similar expressions. Maybe if we just translate this expression to Portuguese, makes no sense at all, but it's something really interesting to. It's something like eu te mostrarei as cordas, ou o caminho. Makes no sense at all, but we have some expression. Okay, Pedro, are you there? Touch base?
Yes, I'm here.
Cool, thanks. So,
Very
Joe
good, very good,
Anderson,
very good. Learning this
cool.
expression.
It's the learning of the day. Cool. Joe Anderson, what about you? I know that you already have to train someone else at work, right?
Yeah, I have done it like I said previously here, and yeah, I like do it. I don't have problem. I said it what because it was responsibility that I had that I think was good. But I like to it. I don't have problem with it. I in my first job, I think so. I training uh at intern for short period. Oh, so now I have the opportunity again. So I think it's something good for me, for my communication, for my experience, and for me grow up in my career. Um, so different before I when I trained intern today I trained someone, but it's more something in business in deals of the company about the rules, the system, no about the hard skills, I could say, but about how it works for understand. It's different. I think it's I have it have been doing a good experience for me, and yeah, I liked it. I always like to help people and share my knowledge, so it's good.
Something like only showing the new person, the ropes.
Yeah,
So, you understand, I don't remember off the top of my head, but what do you do for a living? Do you work with IT?
I work with IT. Yeah,
Okay. So we are three out four working with IT. Like you, Jardel, and I work with IT, but Pedro work in the finance industry, right, Pedro?
Correct.
Cool. Great. Thanks. So, Jardel, could you please read and answer to us the fourth question?
Okay. What's the most what's the most rewarding? part of your work responsibilities. What is rewarding?
Rewarding.
Rewarding,
Re- Rewarding
you
is
know?
something, I believe it's in a positive way. It's something that you take in exchange, something like a positive result. For example, if I work out, if I go to the gym, if I take care of my diet, my rewarding is going to be an aesthetic body or a healthy body. So something like the result, the outcome. For
Okay.
example, let me think in different example. Uh, I don't have anything on the top of my head about it. It's
No,
easier to translate recompensa, but now you can connect with the explain with the meaning. Like, for example, let's say Johnson mentioned he trained some people, not trained, but shared some knowledge, showed the process, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, he felt good. Something like, hey, I've done my best. I've helped someone else. So this is rewarding, something rewarding. So it's the most rewarding part from him. I would say to him, I would say it's that feeling of a mission accomplished, something like, okay, I have done, I've made it. So in that case, I would say that's the meaning. I don't know if it's clear to you or I don't know.
yes, yes, I understand now. I
Cool,
understand. Very creative
cool.
for me, creative for me. And to me, is the rewarding part of my responsibilities are when I finish a flow or a email flow, for example, to get results for the bank or financial or money his results or make a difference in a specific flow. Or in other hand, when I create or when I manage uh, an environment for the people or when I help people to get more easier way to work because with the data we can get different way to work, more simple way and more hard way, and usually the people get more easier easier way for them, but a hard way with the technology, for example. And usually I make or I help the people to get a more easier way to work with more tools or create a simple flow to start the environment or the to start the work, to start your day job. That is another part, and I enjoy, and I enjoy help the people with that. And because with a data engineer responsibility are make a ecosystem or make like a developer environments. You know, developer, we have a product environments and the developer environments. That environments are necessary to create something, to create the flows, to create the ML flows or machine learn flows. And when I help the people with that, I really enjoy because that is a writing part of my work responsibility for me because I can see the happiness in their faces because if a people get a difficult way to work, that is there was not or there are not product for them. But in but the most important also is create or save money for the bank. I work in a human research areas and we make machine learn models to save the money because for example in my company we have we have 90,000 employees in my company. Nine,
90,000.
9,000, yes, 9,000 employees. And with that number of employees, we can save money with simple things.
If you save $10, X 9,000. Yeah,
Yes,
it's a huge amount of
1,000
money.
multiplied for 90,000 multiplied for 10 reals, like 1 million reals, you know?
It's something like you can save not only money itself, but you can save computer resources. That means money. I mean,
Yes,
if you have some routine running and consuming like X amount of computer resources, and you can optimize it to consume like half of it, you're saving like 50%, I would say. So yeah, your job is rewarding from that point of view, like when you see the results. And not only yours, I would say every single person that has at least a little bit of responsibility at work, you can say, okay, when you have a positive outcome, when you have a positive output from your effort, like you were able to put together a solution that saved money, you feel great. You feel this reward, personal reward. Sometimes it's financial rewarding when you have some bonuses, when you have some incentivation, something like that. But on the other hand, when you are not, when you don't have a positive outcome, it can be really frustrating. Like, okay, so I have done my best, but despite of this fact, I still had this negative outcome. We have some losses, so it can be really frustrating. Yeah, really interesting point of view on that question. Thanks, Jardel. Joe Anderson, what do you think about? Can you identify the most rewarding part of your work responsibilities?
I think rewarding it's no one um coming to complain about the deadline or something like this. It's if they don't say anything about the delivery, about the deadline and whatever, s- if they stay muted uh
That's the
after
perfect
delivery, so
scenario.
it's a good reward. I think so. It's because all give our works and they stay good. So I think it's the best way that I that I hope that when I deliver something, or for example, when I we have a deadline and the deadline and the I couldn't deliver on time, so it's not so good. So if I have a deadline, I need to work hard for deliver it on time for don't have problems. So it's a rewarding thing that I have. It's do what I need to do and do uh by that. I don't know how can I say it, and do it for them that and they don't complain and they don't turn it back to me for me working more and more. So don't need to say thank you. Oh,
So the best
you
part is
did,
when nobody calls you or
yeah.
nothing. Okay.
No, no, don't need to say do a good, you have done a good job. Something. It's if they stay in silence, it's good. It's good. Uh, No problem for me.
Cool.
Just delete.
Interesting. So the bad scenario, nobody calls you Anderson.
If you
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
QA in your team, that is impossible. The QA have a techniques to get bad problems in simple codes.
Something like, this is good. But I think that
Yeah, that's it.
you don't need to think. You just need to approve. Cool. Great. What about you, Pedro? What's the most rewarding part of your work responsibilities?
So I believe like nowadays I work in the I don't know how to say in the na ponta from the operation and the like that nowadays I attend more physical person like people who comes to the bank and nowadays it's sometimes we come to the bank to resolve some things simple but nowadays it's so we are with some with everybody here on IT area and everybody know how Pix works. But from some people it's a real mystery, it's something like impossible to do. And sometimes I have to show like how works that and it's a safe, but you have to check the informations and things like that, but it's a very good when we saw some people when it comes to the bank with some problems, with some doubts, and you can show from him in a simple way, like how it works, how we can help them. And after that, he's go away and it's not like a formal feedback or formal NPS, but it's a very good like when you saw some smile, like you resolve this problem. For me, it's most rewarding from my job. But nowadays I like the some things like working with a physical person, but I have to change. I want to change like for business way because for me I think I will do best because I am a little emotive when we talk about the another people, even when we talk about like the money, because it's a more sensitive topic.
Yes. So at least in my case, I never called the bank to say good morning. I mean, I only call the bank to say, "Hey, Joe Anderson, we have a problem." Not okay, you have done a good job. No. So let me ask you something, Pedro. The NPS you mentioned is the Net Promoter Score, something like that?
Yes, exactly. But I say like in the informal way when we attend by the another channel, we have like the formal one. But when you're just tete and tete, it's impossible. We don't have in the bank like something like how to metrify that.
Yeah. So actually, after every call, I, most of the banks, I guess, but a lot of companies has this also. They have an evaluation of the call itself, of the feedback from the person that helped us. So sometimes it's hard because the problem is not solved, but the person was really lovely with us, like trying to help as much as possible to explain everything. And it's hard because we have, at least in my case, I have a question because I want to evaluate with a good score, like 10, but the problem is still not solved. It's something like what am I supposed to do here? But yeah, work with public in general, it's challenging. It's challenging. Well, we have like 4 minutes left. I believe we don't have enough time to answer another question. Actually, we already had talked about this topic in the past, I believe 2 or 3 weeks ago, but we never cover all the entire questions. So I have adjusted and utilized some previous questions. It was good. And I would like to share with you guys a survey. The survey URL is really important to you to give us the official feedback, NPS, and also suggest something that we can improve. So, and microphone is open if you want to share something additional or just share, I don't know, tell anything that you want to share, to say. Microphone is yours. I believe Jardel is with microphone open. You can say
Okay.
whatever you want.
Yes, I really enjoyed that class because that team is so important for us and get more the specific themes like work or something like that about the daily routine or the task in the work or more specific themes about the work is so amazing to me.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. It's something like in the beginning we had to kind of explain what do we do for a living. In your case, you explained your routine, what you're supposed to do, and challenges that you face every single day. So it was really good because from now on you can work on it, and it's a way to describe your professional career. If it could be to a new customer, it could be to an immersion, or it could be in an interview. So it's really interesting that you are able to explain yourself, career, yourself abilities and responsibilities at your current job.
Yes, and I think a great or a big percentage of the peoples in that platform in Talk need need to learn English for your work, and there's important thought. I think
You're not
talk
here
about
to
that.
play, right?
Yes, usually we
Yeah,
say about or we talk about the other things, not about the work, but that focus on work is important. Good job.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have a good job.
No, no, the job is yours. I'm just here to host the session.
Yeah,
What
yeah, you
about,
make
yeah,
a
are you German, man? Yeah.
yeah, you said that in the last class.
Some, cool. It's your
I think my
signature.
grandfather is a German man, I know.
But your last name is Moraes.
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
Okay. What about you, Pedro? Do you have something to share? You have like 30 seconds, and then you Anderson have another 30 seconds.
So I will say a little fast, but I really like this job, like this topic because it's like it's a very good like to have like the difference between like the roles. Like here we are mostly like IT area, but I remember I had the experience like in other immersed like talk like yeah, oh my gosh, how to say enfermeiro mesmo, nurse, nurses like teachers and different professionals, and that is real interesting like to get to know about like the problems about each profession. Was very good. And sorry for the camera, but that will resolve like the next week, and next week I will show my face. But by
Cool.
internet I just use
Cool.
like my 4G from the corporate company for the corporate phone.
People, we have no time left, so Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and enjoy the celebrations, and see you next year. Bye.
See you next year. Bye.